When a verb is called a reflexive verb, it means the action reflects back on the person who's doing the verb. For example, bañar means to bathe or to take a bath. That's not a reflexive verb until we add a se at the end, and then it means to bathe one's self. Not to give the dog a bath or your little sister, but it means when you say me baño, you have taken the se off, put it out front to show who it's happening to, and then you still conjugated baño because I'm the one doing the bathing and I'm bathing myself. This is different from yo baño a mi perro. That's I give my dog a bath or I bathe my dog. That's totally fine. Great sentence. But it's not what you're wanting to express if you're the one doing the bathing and the person being bathed is yourself. The same thing applies for somebody else, except for the me changes to a se. So you could have bañar again, to bathe, to take a bath, but we see that extra se on the end, so we know it's going to be to bathe oneself. So we know we're going to have some form of the se, which is going to actually stay the same if it's another person. So se just moves out front. You keep bañ, and somebody else is doing it, so we're going to change this, take off the R, and just make it se baña. That all seems really complicated, but you're going to see a couple of examples where you're going to see the pattern. So for example, he or she, like we just said, bathes him or herself. They're doing the bathing, and they're the one being bathed. He or she gets up, physically gets up. He or she wakes up, opens their eyes, is no longer sleeping. They haven't gotten up yet, but they've woken up. Notice you've got all these ses because someone else is doing it, and all of these endings are just a vowel. So originally they had an R on the end, but we took off that too. The same applies when you make it I'm doing the thing, and I'm doing the thing to myself. So you go me despierto, I wake up. Me baño, I bathe myself. Me cepillo, I brush myself. This ending indicates that I'm doing it because it ends in an O. And then the prefix here, the pronoun, shows that not only am I doing it, but I'm doing it to myself. So I'm not brushing my little sister's hair, I'm brushing my hair. I'm not bathing the dog, I'm bathing myself. And I didn't wake somebody else up, like a roommate, or a spouse, or a friend who slept over. I'm waking myself up. I wake up. A couple of other things need to be understood when thinking about these patterns, and one of them is that vowel ending, that O, that AS, that A, that AMOS, and that AN, shows who's doing the action. Unless the verb didn't originally end in an ER, and then the endings are O, ES, E, EMOS, or IMOS, and EN. That's why it's se despierta, but it's se pone for putting on clothes. Your options at the end are an A or an E, depending on what the verb originally ended. So, for example, se pone la ropa, as he or she puts on clothes. We've got our se, we're ending in a vowel here. It's an E because originally it was poner. And we've got se levanta, he or she gets up. We've got our se, because it's he or she. They get their self up, and if you want to remember it, that's how you might remember it, S-E-L-F, self. They get themselves up. And we've got that vowel at the end, because it's he or she doing it to themselves, but they're doing the action. Here are two examples of what it looks like with the different similar parts color-coded. You've got to take whatever's at the end, put it out front, and make it appropriate for the person doing the action. And then at the end, you're going to keep the root of the word, but you're going to change the ending to show who's doing it. This is who's doing it, and this is who it's being done to. So these are all reflexive, so these people are the same. So se is going to go with the he or she ending, me is going to go with the me ending, because I'm doing it, and I'm doing it to myself.